Hi everyone and welcome back to National League Lowdown with me, Dan. As you can see, there's a full house of us tonight. We're all together. We're going to be reviewing some games, previewing some games. We've got other things to talk about as well. Craig, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, not too bad. Didn't travel to Truro to watch Braintree and National League Cup. Watched it at home last night, and definition of highs and lows of football. I think our goalkeeper scored a 95th minute equaliser, and then three outfield players missing their penalties as we lose 3-0 on penalties. I didn't go to Truro, but still, Joe Manuel's Thomas's penalty still managed to hit me when I was sitting at home.
I mean, if that doesn't just surmise all the goal scoring problems Braintree's having right now, that
He's joint fourth top goal scorer for us this season with one.
they've had to rely on the keeper to score in normal time, and then nobody could score from the penalty spot in the penalty shootout. It just sums everything up, really, doesn't it? It is unbelievable yet believable. Mark, you weren't short of goals at the game you were at. How are you, mate?
Oh, well, aloha, everybody. Yes, and 3-1 up at Peterborough Sports, then turned into 4-3 with some of the most abysmal defending and goalkeeping I have ever seen. It was, oh, dear me. It was terrible. It was just absolutely terrible. I mean, if you saw the Peterborough equaliser, it's a classic goalkeeper defence mix-up, and then I think it was our second goal. And honestly, just watch the highlights. They're too naff to describe. But yeah, we got Bedford Town on Saturday up at the leasing.com stadium, or the Moss as we call them, and the return of Tyrone Marsh, one of our favourite strikers from the Macclesfield Town days. But yeah, it was quite the match, but for all the wrong reasons last night.
Well, I think I speak for all of us when we can't wait to watch them highlights. We'll definitely go and watch them. Louis, how are you, mate? Back from the Netherlands, seeing some games of football while you were there. How are you?
Yeah, good weekend watching some Eredivisie action, some big games, big clubs, Ajax final to name two of them. But back watch the best league in the world, in my opinion, the National League, and talk through it with you lot.
Yeah, I mean, you're going from Ajax and Feyenoord to Sutton, and no difference
Brackley.
whatsoever. No difference whatsoever. No difference whatsoever. Just before we get started, we noticed recently that 65% of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel. So while you're watching, if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe. It helps us no end, and it helps us get like Craig's doing there. It helps us get more guests on, like we had Keaton Ward on last time. Gets more guests, gets us more publicity, gets people watching more, helps us no end. So if you can do that, it'd be greatly appreciated. So lads, we're going to get into Rochdale Southend, which wasn't a game for a football purist, but I don't think the Rochdale supporters will care. And obviously the Rochdale supporters that were a bit upset that we left them off the deep dive when we were doing that with Keaton at the weekend. There was a couple that weren't too happy. So they've got our full undivided attention at the moment. Louis, I know you watched this game. What did you make of it?
Yeah, game that was big on paper, but just didn't really look to the hype in terms of the quality entertainment on offer in the game. I think Rochdale obviously dominated football as they do in most games, but I think Southend were fairly comfortable in the game, to be honest. Sat back with their deep line and managed to sort of break behind the defence a couple of times. Obviously got the opener 5 minutes before half time with a Scott Morris header from a free kick. Don't know what Muff and the defence are doing. The defence are going one way, what Muff's going the other. It's a complete, absolute horror show from the back line there. One of the only times it's happened, to be fair to them. Obviously very good defence from Rochdale so far this season. So if it happens once, in the season, you take it over the course of the season. And then I think the only moment of quality in the game afterwards, Kyron Gordon's finish 4 minutes later, absolutely lovely curling finish on his left foot from the outside of the area, put it into the far post, and they went in level at half time, and it was probably a deserved scoreline for both of them. I think a draw was fair on the first half in terms of chances, given that there weren't many, but the ones that they did have weren't really clear-cut ones. Second half was probably worse, I think. Both sides had a bit of the ball, had a bit of territory. I'd argue that Southend maybe had a bit more of it in the second half. But sign of champions, Gilmore pops up at the end. Lovely sort of work on the left-hand side by Chapman. Rounds a Dane. I think if in that case, a Dengadai has to take the ball at that stage. If you come out, you have to commit. And usually he didn't make his mind up, really. He just sort of let the guy go past him. And Gilmore tapped it in for a header in the last minute, sparking absolute scenes. And it's just a massive, massive win for them. It's huge, putting them back on top of the table. And, fully deserved in terms of their determination, getting that result in the end. 4 wins in a row now for them. They've got huge set of fixtures coming up. Boreham, Carlisle, Forest Green in the next 3. So the real performances they can nick your stat, Craig. But yes, it's on the flip side, horrible few days for Southend, dropping 2 points at Boston when on paper they should be winning the game, dropping the point that they got at Rochdale in the last minute, dropped out of the top 7. They've dropped 12 points from winning positions this season so far, and they've got Scunthorpe away next in the league. So yeah, horrible few days for them. But if you're Rochdale, you're on cloud 9 at the moment. Fantastic win, puts you top of the league.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the game as well. I thought first half they kind of cancelled each other out, but I thought Southend were comfortable, like Louis said. Rochdale playing a lot of the ball just in front of them, playing it around the back, obviously trying to find gaps and space. But especially in the first half, when everyone's full of energy, no one's tiring and things like that, they was just cancelling each other out. And then, like I say, a bit of a mix-up. I was a bit confused as to what they were doing defensively. So they seemed to be playing a really high line from the set piece, but then Watmuff comes out and that causes a bit of confusion. I think either you play it deeper or the keeper doesn't come. Yeah, there has to be a mix. You can't just do one or the other. And then for me, from there, Rochdale probably were the better team, I would say. And then, like I say, the Kyron Gordon goal was, I would say, the one piece of real quality from the entire game, really. And then, like I've said on here before, you can kind of gauge what champions are going to do. And for me, that late goal, when they weren't playing particularly well, I think I messaged our group chat about 70 minutes and I said that both teams look like they're just happy with a point here. And somehow Rochdale found a way to get over the line, and that's what the best teams do. Southend, like you say, dropping out the playoffs. I know they've got games in hand, but they're not the best games. So and the form Halifax are in at the moment, they're shooting up the table. So I think Southend just need to get back to some basics and getting some results. And like I say, that stat about them losing from winning positions, that's got to be worrying as well as a Southend fan, just that you can't see games out and things like that. Mark, what did you make of this one, mate?
Well, you don't have to have a classic to win a game, and lucky for Rochdale, really. But the whole thing. I mean, we've gone on about the games in hand. You got to win them, and that's exactly what they're doing. They want to keep the pressure on at the top of the table. They've now returned to the top of the table, and it's not going to be easy for anybody. I mean, Rochdale have got to play Boreham, Carlisle. There are some tough games in there, but they've got the quality. I mean, Kyron Gordon, he should Rochdale win the league, he has to be one of the priority contract signings in the summer. They cannot afford to let him go so cheaply. His goal was fantastic. Forget the goal. I mean, I went on about Peterborough and Mac. Wait until you see that. God dear, you're gonna make it look like Dino Zoff and Paolo Maldini. But I mean, they played right to the end. That is what top teams do. Now, Southend, they've got to pick themselves back up. I've seen a couple of people on Twitter, they're a real bag of work, that is. But I'm saying that we won't get anything under Kevin Mayer. Don't be so stupid. Stick with him. I mean, you've come this far now. I mean, don't forget 2 years ago, you had Ron Martin absolutely draining the club dry. Back him, get behind him, get that feel-good factor in, because they wouldn't want to lose their playoff place, and I don't think Kevin Mayer will let them. I mean, it's a sticky patch, but Southend will get out of it if they get a decent striker as well. But Rochdale, yeah, looking so good, and they'll give York and everybody else a run for the money.
Definitely. Craig, I know Louis stole your stat off you, but what did you make of it?
That's right. I'll start with Southend. So just going on what Mark said about them having decent strikers, I do think they've got a couple of decent strikers in Cardwell and Kendall, but they both seem to be made of glass. So neither of them get a really good run in the team, and particularly not together. If one's fit, the other one's not, and sometimes both of them are injured, kind of thing. Dallas has obviously had a very good week, chipped in with goals, but was fairly anonymous yesterday. For me, the goalkeeper position's a bigger issue for them. I'd hate to be in Louis' position here because I'm going to recommend a goalkeeper, Jack Sims, for them. I just see him as a perfect fit for Southend. He came through the youth teams there. I think he played a little bit for them in the youth system. I just think he's the perfect fit for them. Go out and get yourself a proper number one. I'm not a fan of their current keeper. I'll be honest with you. He makes some really good saves, but it seems at least once a month, if not more, we're talking about something he should have done better on. So for me, that is a problem position for them. Going back to Rochdale, their February is horrible, as Louis said. I think they've got 8 games in February. Obviously, they're playing catch up. By the way, their pitch looked immaculate yesterday, considering the amount of rain they had. So credit for them for that.
Good, didn't it?
We've given them a lot of stick about that, and mid-season wasn't the right time to do it, but it was better than not doing it. So that they made the right decision eventually on that, and to get that game ahead when there was so many called off yesterday was really good. I know there was a lot of jokes flying around on Twitter, and I think even Rochdale's admin got in on it as well with pitch injections in terms of the celebrations rather than pitch inspections, which is all good-natured. And obviously there was a lot of discussion during the day about whether it would be on or not, but then you saw pictures of the pitch and you were like, it's never in doubt. That looks like an absolute carpet. So credit to them for rectifying the wrongs of maybe the summer and getting that spot on. And they have to, because they are in a title race. I'm not prepared to say it's down to 2 teams now, but the 2 seem the most consistent and best teams in the league. We've talked about Boreham Wood, we've talked about Scunthorpe. I tried to talk about Carlisle, but they sold me a dream that I'm never buying it again. But those 2 seem a stretch above the others. But if Rochdale need to get 18 points probably from these 24, I'd say, to stay right up there. And really, I think if they get 18 out of that 24, they'll be top of the league at the end of February. And that'd be a fantastic place to be. Joe Pritchard, not a bad 7 days from him. Is he getting the reputation as their super sub? Scored the winner, which even he admitted was a cross last week, but you don't care. Come off the bench, 88th minute yesterday, rounded the keeper, and obviously it got tapped in by Gilmore for the winner. So yeah, he might be there, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and when you're going to win the league, you need one of those.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wanted to just quickly mention about the subs. I think they brought Manny D on. Obviously, I was happy to see him back because I'm the chairman of the fan club, but he played a part in the goal as well, holding the ball up, playing the ball through. So it was just showed that McNulty got it right, made all the right subs, and played a part in the win as well. So yeah, and I was going to say about the pitch, but I had a feeling Craig was going to mention it, and I didn't want to steal it off him because Louis had already stole his start off him.
I'll just say this about that, just to put my 2 cents worth in here. That could possibly be the best bit of business they've done in the winter by getting the pitch going. If Rochdale, I don't think there's going to be any more weather issues. They can get down and play some really decent football in there, and that could. It's a bit of a cliche, but that could be the difference between winning the league or finishing second. But yeah, the best bit of business in the winter was actually was signing your pitch people.
One thing I didn't like yesterday, I don't know if you guys noticed it, is when you're watching the camera view was getting a reflection off the windows of the hospitality bit as well.
Oh yeah,
it's driving me insane.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Just to add on Rochdale, I think the fact that they've got loads of games in hand is maybe putting how good they are to one side. Because I mean, I look back at previous seasons, and obviously the standout season in the National League really is when Wrexham and Notts County were setting the pace. Rochdale's pace after 26 games is better than both those sides, and Wrexham got 111 points and Notts County got 107 points. So they've got more points after 26 games than those 2 sides did. So if they carry on this form, it's going to be very, very hard for York to stop them. I still think York will win the league, but it's going to be one hell of a title race.
It will go down to the last day. The Rochdale versus York game will decide who wins that title. And if none of the supporters like that, then bite me.
That's going to be a game of such highs and lows, isn't it? But that's football. That is football.
If it does go down to that game, I am going to start a petition that we do a live watch along. We all sack our teams off. if as long as we've got nothing, all our teams have got nothing to play for, and we just sit and watch that instead, I'd be happy with that because we could be sponsored by Butterkist and get the popcorn ready. Um, but yeah, we'll wait and see. So obviously, we've covered Rochdale, Southend. We're going to do our previews and predictions for this weekend, and then there's 3 games midweek next week as well that we're going to talk about as well. So first up, we kind of mentioned them a little bit there. Boreham Wood versus Boston. Mark?
Boreham Wood have got some catching up to do. They've got to put this strange form that they're in behind them. Boston, they're in a very similar situation, but at the wrong end of the table. But I think Boreham Wood should do enough to get by, but only just 2-1 Boreham Wood.
Louis?
Yeah, I think this is in the category of must win for Boreham Wood, considering that it's at home, considering that you're playing a side struggling at the bottom of the league. It was back-to-back defeats for the first time this season for Boreham Wood in their last 2 games. It was interesting in midweek. They played a really strong lineup in the National League Cup against Brackley, wasn't it? They won 5-2, but the likes of Abdul Malik, Rush, Brunt, Booty played as well. So whether he's Garage trying to get some sort of tune out of them again to make sure they get some momentum going. Obviously, beating a team in the same league as U5-2 is obviously a very good result. But we'll just have to see how it goes for them. For Boston, no win in 9 for them. They've got a decent away record, though, 12th in the away table, 18 points from 15 games. I just have too much faith in Boreham Wood getting the job done, so I have gone 3-1 Boreham Wood on this occasion. If you've got the same scoreline again.
Nice. Some would say you're a very wise man, Louis. Some would say. But Boreham Wood, they've got to stop that becoming a bit of a mini crisis for them. They've lost 2 in a row. They don't want to make it 3. And I think for me, Boston at home, if they're not winning that, then they can be kissing goodbye to that title race we all thought they were in and stuff like that. Boston, they do need to turn it around, but I just don't think they turn it around in this one. And shockingly, I've gone for 3-1, the same as Louis. We'll see if we can carry the. I mean, it didn't work for us last week. We'll talk about that when we get to the end of these predictions. Who won the week and everything, purely just because I forgot to mention it to Craig. Craig, what have you got for this game?
Yeah, so we've spoken about this game. We're obviously going to come on to Boreham Wood's second game of our predictions, which is away to Rochdale. I think this could be a make and break for their title, as you guys have said. If they lose this one, I can't see them beating Rochdale away. That'll be 4 defeats in a row, so this has to be a win for them. I don't think they're going to do it. I honestly don't. I think they just hit that patch of form which no one wants to hit. I'm going to go 1-1.
I mean, again, it's tough to argue with, but just going back to what Louis said, I do think that was a part in that game against Brackley. He wanted to get a bit of form back into the players, a bit of confidence, and they did score a lot of goals. And it looks like we'll only be able to tell on Saturday, but I think that was a good idea.
They both played in the National League Cup, didn't they? Obviously, Boston lost to West Ham under 21s, I believe, so they're still in the competition.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Braintree versus the Eastleigh. Craig, I know you're on commentary for this one. What's your predictions?
Honestly, don't know, mate. I'm really pessimistic right now, and I don't want to be. I watched yesterday again, and we created the fairly decent chances. Pinnington gets into great positions on the right flank, and he had a shot saved, and it hit the inside of both posts and came back out. I just think we're struggling so much for goals. I think there's a real lack of confidence there, which was probably nullified in that penalty shootout yesterday when 2 of the 3 have gone over the bar, and one of them, I think I could have saved it. And I'm a useless goalkeeper. If anyone's watching, who knows me, can definitely vouch for that one. But they're just poor in front of goal. And I think when you're poor in front of goal, your defence is almost on eggshells as well, because they know the minute we concede 1, we've probably lost the game. So I'm really sorry, Braintree fans, and I really hope I'm going to be wrong, and I'm going to try and work on the next couple of days about a bit of positivity before I go on commentary. But I'm going to go 2-0 Eastleigh.
I mean, Again, with Eastleigh is similar though, aren't they? Eastleigh have been struggling in recent weeks, not been great. In my opinion, underachieving this season. I know they've had injuries to key players and things like that, but I'm not full of confidence on them either. And purely for the fact that Craig's on commentary and Craig is the curse. Craig already knows what I'm going to say. 0-0, all over it. For me, we'll see what happens. Louis, have you got 0-0 as well?
I have not got 0-0, thankfully. This is such a hard one to predict because I'm toying with all three results for this game. I think that the fact that Braintree have travelled down to Truro is such a massive negative for them, considering the distance and the effort that's been put in. And I imagine it was a load of first teams out on the team sheet. I didn't see the team, so I don't know whether that's wrong, Craig. But
No, you're correct.
yeah, so I don't know, but. The only thing is it's a low margins game for Braintree. Obviously, the joint fourth for the fewest goals conceded at home. So you've only conceded 12 goals at home this season. And then when you look at Eastleigh, they have not had a clean sheet in 18 games, 4 defeats on the bounce, and the 13 goals conceded in the last 4 games. It is a must not lose game for Eastleigh, this one. But I just have this feeling that it's going to be 1-0 Braintree.
Sounds good.
I very much hope so.
I don't, because it puts us in trouble, but there you go.
Well,
Mark, what have you got for this one?
Well, there's the lack of goals, as somebody prophesied a couple of weeks ago, is beginning to take its toll on Braintree. When your goalkeeper goes and scores you the goal, you've got to think, yeah, we really do need something. But that said, it's going to be one of those games where Braintree are going to score because Eastleigh can let them in so easily as well. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here, and you're going to think I've lost my mind a long time ago. 2-2.
Wow, 2-2. If that comes in, it's true. If that's right, Mark, honestly, that is an incredible shot from you. Incredible.
They're all going to be own goals.
It'd be typical us to score 2 and still not win, though. After all the times we've had clean
That's
sheets
the problem. Well. That is the problem. They will score 2, but they will get either 1 point or nothing. This is the way it's going. But they have to end the drought at some point. Come on, Braintree.
You know what's going to happen?
You've got a nice town centre there. Great.
Eastleigh are going to go 2-1 up, and Mason Terry's going to equalise in the last minute and get 2-2, and then become your joint top scorer in the league.
if that happens, but
he's got a couple. He needs to get to 4. Our top scorer is on 4. Thank you very much.
Don't play for anymore, does he?
And he played for Yeovil, yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Carlisle, Altrincham. For me, I said my piece on Carlisle last week. I haven't changed my stance. I think that probably the game being called off at the weekend was a good thing. Give Mark Hughes a bit of time with the players on the training pitch and things like that. And again, we'll see what happens here. Altrincham have turned a bit of a corner. Drew with Forest Green, beat Boreham Wood, so they look like they have turned a bit of a corner, but I think we'll just have enough. I think probably the case of what happened when we went to their place. Regan Linney maybe gets a goal and comes back to haunt his old team. So I'm going 2-1 Carlisle in that one. Craig?
Yeah, I'm going to write Louis down now because I've got that one in my head already because he was laughing when you said yours. So I'm gonna back your boys as well here. I think if Altrincham were a wounded animal, this might be a little bit of a different game. But I think because they've had some good results, they might come out at you a little bit more, and I think that might end up suiting you. So because they're not as much of a wounded animal, I'm gonna back your guys. I think it's gonna be 2-1 till late, and then you're gonna add a third 3-1.
Louis, I'll come to you next.
Yeah, this is win or bust for Mark Hughes. I think if you don't pick up 3 points here, I think it's probably the end of the road for him. You've conceded 17 goals in your 15 home games so far this season, so not the greatest defence for a team that should be chasing the title. Yeah, probably. Yes, it is. Yeah. I'd give a stat in the previous preview. Altrincham, no clean sheet in 11 games for them. Ollie Crankshaw's on a bit of form. Obviously, Mark's favourite player, 3 goals in 5 games. joint third worst away record in the league, though. Altrincham, 9 points from 14 games. Yeah, you know what my prediction is. Do I need to say it? It's, I think 2-1 Carlisle.
Mark?
Well, the Forest Green factor will come in. The definite game of two halves where Altrincham dominated, then Forest Green came in. Ollie Crankshaw's going to have another barnstormer again. I think did Chris Clark play against Altrincham in the first game? I don't think he did he?
No.
He'll want to impress against his old club. So will Regan Linney. But I get the feeling it's going to be just like the Forest Green game of two halves, same result, 1-1.
Fair enough. Next up, we've got Hartlepool versus Aldershot. I'm not necessarily sure this game screams classic, but Aldershot have been valued for money, so who knows yet? Craig?
Yeah, Hartlepool obviously made a few changes to their squad this week. Obviously, perhaps a little bit more money coming in with the new owners, getting some players out, getting some players in. I forgot the lad's name. Nathaniel George, is it, that's coming today?
Oh no, Tyrese Sinclair.
Tyrese Sinclair.
I knew it was one of the two. It had hit a wall. Which one it was? Tyrese Sinclair coming in. I think that will be a good signing. Although I haven't. Nathaniel George was there earlier in the season, wasn't it?
He's gone back.
Yes, I knew that. There we go. Yeah, I don't think he's the answer to their goal scoring problems, though. I think they've got a problem in front of goal. Whereas Aldershot, if they've got Josh Barrett conducting the orchestra there, I think they're going to be a very good side. And I'm going to go for an away win, 2-1 Aldershot.
Mark?
Well, it's going to look like I'm copying you and Louis here. Yeah, I'm going 2-1 Aldershot. I think John Coleman's got them revving again, and they're starting to pull away, much to the bottom four's detriment, but they're not there to care about anybody's feelings in that bottom four. Hartlepool, I think, the transitional period for coming from dear old Mr. Singh to an owner with a bit more of a brighter outlook for Hartlepool, but now John Coleman's experience is beginning to show. So yeah, 2-1 Aldershot.
Yeah, like I say, value for money with Aldershot, but Hartlepool, they've kept a lot of clean sheets. They don't score many goals. I've gone 1-1 in this one. I've gone for a draw. Louis?
Yeah, it's no goal scored against all the goals that concede, and flip side the other way, no goals, no scoring for fun. Aldershot, there are 22 goals in Aldershot's last 5 games. It's quite incredible, really. And they've had 2 weeks off, given that they've had a couple of postponements as well. And they've scored 2 goals in 52% of their games this season, Aldershot. So we've talked about it, value for money. But then when you look at Hartlepool, 45% of their games they've kept a clean sheet. So it's which side is going to cut on top of it. Alex Reed's got 2 in his last 3. He might get 1 this game, but I think 3-1 Aldershot.
Interesting.
I was thinking I was going out there with my suggestion, and Lou's gone even more, and Mark's agreed with me.
I know. There we go. Let's hope that's a draw. Then I can make up some ground in the predictions.
It'll probably be 5-4 to somebody.
Next up, we've got Solihull Moors against York. Now this game could be full of goals. I'll go first, just so it doesn't look like copying. I think Solihull scoring for fun, picking up some results. I know they've lost a couple of games recently, but that was to Boreham and to Rochdale, I think. So, drew with Carlisle, had some good results. Obviously, the 7-1s, the 4-1s, the 5-1s, scoring a lot of goals, but York just looked too good for me. Again, scoring a lot of goals, but like I say, letting some in as well. I know they haven't in recent games, but over the course of the season, they've been a part of a lot of 4-1s, 3-1s, things like that. I'm going to go 3-2 York in this one. Louis?
Yeah, I mean, when you add the 5 games that these two have had over the last period of time, 34 goals have been scored in those 10 games that they've had. If that stat makes sense, I don't know whether I botched the saying a bit. 1 clean sheet and 12 for Solihull, though, considering, and that came against Morecambe in their last game. So they do let in goals, and obviously York, we've talked about them scoring goals. 17 unbeaten in the league now. They're just a bit relentless at the moment. Only beaten by Scunthorpe, and obviously Solihull beat them at their place earlier on in the season as well. They average 17.1 shots per game, which is just it's ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. And I think the result last night for Rochdale is just going to add that extra fire in their belly. I think they're going to learn from their mistakes last year, and I just think they're just going to get a rampant animal. And I've gone 4-2 York on this one.
Mark?
My goodness gracious me, yes. Lots of goals, but as it's been said, York do concede. I don't think they'll care as long as they're scoring even more goals than what they conceded. If they will concede one, York will score 3. That's the beauty of this side. They've got goals all over the place, and when you've got Josh Stones and Ollie Pearce up front, if not both, one will, and they're the total package at the moment, York are, which surprised me when Louis said 4-2, because I've got 4-2 York as well.
Wow. That's got to be the first time this season 2 people have had 4-2 as the scoreline, surely. Craig?
Yeah, I'm actually going for York to get another clean sheet. That'll be 3 in a row for them, and that will really boost their defensive confidence as well. Obviously, they've lost Malachi Fagan-Walcott, but that hasn't seemed to affect them. I think Morgan Williams hasn't completely come back into the side yet. I think he's been phased in, but they've been getting clean sheets. Granted, they were against mine and your side, Dan, so that doesn't mean too much.
True.
But I think they've only conceded 3 in the last 5, so they are becoming a little bit more defensively solid, and it hasn't seemed to have sacrificed too much going forwards for them as well. I think that may have been the York fans' worry. If they did shut up shop a little bit, it might stop some of their creativity going forwards, but they seem to have got the balance right, granted against poor opposition recently. But yeah, I'm going to go 3-0 here to York.
Well, convincing. And then the last game for Saturday is Sutton versus Brackley. Louis, I'll come to you first, mate. What are you expecting from this one?
Yeah, this sounds like it'd be the game of the weekend, wouldn't it? I'm sure everyone's going to tune into this one. 1 defeat in 7 at home for us now, so we're picking up a bit of home form, and that defeat came against York. Obviously, a really, really big win last time out against Tamworth. I don't think it's understating how much of a big win that was for us, going to Tamworth and getting the clean sheet as well. Absolutely massive from us. We obviously score goals as well. 74% of our games we've scored at least 1 goal in, so we do find the back of the net, and we have tightened up a bit defensively recently. Only conceded 4 goals in our last 5 games, and considering we played the likes of York, Forest Green and Southend, I think that's quite good going from us, albeit considering that we were shipping goals for days before that. Brackley, on the other hand, have obviously picked up recently. 7 defeats from 13 away games, though, and there's 46% of their away games where they haven't scored. So obviously their problem is whether they score. If they do score in this game, it's whether I think we do get more than them in that case. I have gone 2-1 win for us. I do have hope and expectations for us to get 3 points from this game.
Yeah. Mark?
Well, we're going to see how well Jermaine Francis does for his signing. Obviously, they've lost, is it Jack Taylor?
Jack Taylor, yeah, JT.
Jack Taylor, he's gone to Stevenage. But they can't dwell on that. Players come and go, as Sutton are basically ripping apart what they did in the summer. I'll still maintain that the recruitment was just an absolute basket case of a summer market. Hopefully they'll be a bit more clever next season. But they're getting quality signings. This is what should have been done. Quality signings in. And that's going to be the difference. I mean, I know Brackley brought in Danny Newton and Cian Harrott, but I can see Sutton doing this 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to add to this just quite quickly. I've got 2-1 as well to Sutton. We might have a full house for the first time for a while. Craig, no?
We don't. We do have a full house on Sutton wins, though. I think that their performances and earlier in the month maybe didn't get the results they deserved. Obviously, they probably should have got something from York. I think they were good in that game. Forest Green, they could have easily won, obviously, with the decisions. So to only get 1 point from them 2 games made that Tamworth one, as Louis said, a must win. And it wasn't convincing, but sometimes when you haven't won, you need to get over the line, and that's what they done. It took them out the relegation zone, so obviously around the camp, there's probably just been a little bit of a buzz this week and sometimes that can be massive in football. That little bit of momentum, and I think Brackley at home is probably one of the games you want to have. Again, saying that as a Braintree fan, I know we lost to Brackley at home, so don't come at me. Okay. But I think that's one that they can win quite convincingly. I'm going to go a bit of a statement performance here. I'm going to go 3-0 Sutton.
That's going to go down well with the Brackley supporters. Next up,
Yeah, well
so
done, Brackley.
we've got Tuesday's games now. So we've got Altrincham versus Morecambe. I know we've kind of already touched on Altrincham and what to expect from them, but we haven't had our favourite team, Morecambe, yet. So, Mark, I'll come to you first.
No, I'm not surprised as well. God, dreadful outfit. I'm gonna go. It's gonna be another Ollie Crankshaw super show for me. He will absolutely love going up against the defensive duffs of Morecambe's. Honestly, they might as well just have Eric Moore complaining. You'll get a laugh. But honestly, the sooner Morecambe listen to their fans, and they've got to save the season here. But it's not going to happen at Altrincham. I think Altrincham are going to beat them about 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it all for a while now with Morecambe. Until they get a competent manager in that wants to actually get results, and not obsessed with one style of play and things like that, they're not going to get out of trouble. So I've got 3-1 Altrincham. Craig?
Yeah, 10 days for Ashvir Singh Johal to get his players on the training ground between games. And I actually think that just the fact they're not playing this weekend might give them a stronger chance in this one, because the turnaround for Altrincham is obviously only 2-3 days, whatever it is, probably one training session on the Monday. I'm gonna back Morecambe to get something from this, but I don't think they're good enough to win. I think a competent manager, Morecambe win this game, no doubts, because of the turnaround and them being fresh and all those kind of things. I'm gonna go 1-1.
And Louis?
Yeah, it's just sound bites all the time from Ashvir Singh Johal, isn't it? And every time I look through my Twitter page, it's literally just everyone quote tweeting saying, "How is this man still in a job?" Yeah, I think the 10 days will do them some benefit potentially, but I think Altrincham will just have too much for them. We're going 2-1 Altrincham.
Yeah. Next up, we've got Forest Green Woking. Craig?
Yeah, obviously, both teams coming in on okay form, but for me, Forest Green's form's fairly poor if you want to be towards the title. And I think Woking are better away than they are at home. So I'm going to go for another. I feel like I'm saying 1-1 tonight, but I'm going to go 1-1 again.
Yeah. Louis?
Yeah, obviously both teams in action in the FA Trophy this weekend. Forest Green at home, Woking away. I think the performance that Forest Green had against Scunthorpe, they were the better side for the opening period. They created a lot of chances, and I think at the moment it's just the defence is just letting them down. I don't think it will this time. I have gone 3-1 Forest Green, so I do think they'll get the job done, and I think they'll get the sort of kick up the backside that they need.
Yeah, I think Forest Green are due a win. So I've gone 2-1 Forest Green. Mark?
Well, my crispy toasted people, I have backed them to win the FA Trophy. They better not forget that. But no, Robbie Savage will want a result of some kind, a win preferably. But Woking can be so stubborn and difficult. Yeah, they will go in there with that difficult and stubborn attitude. And I think a Desmond's on here too.
And then last up on the Tuesday, we've got Rochdale versus Boreham Wood. I'm sure a lot of neutrals will be tuning into this one. I'll go first, just so it doesn't look like I'm copying. Obviously, we've spoke about Rochdale, spoke about Boreham Wood, and I think for me here, this is another game where Rochdale potentially just get over the line without it being particularly pretty or anything like that. I've got 2-1 Rochdale. Mark?
Yeah, it'll be a tough game. I think the quality of the football will be better, given the fact that Boreham Wood want to make sure that they're in that top four. But Rochdale are no mugs. I mean, as I say, that new playing surface, they can play the nice passing football. Manny D being back as well, that's going to be a big factor too. Joe Pritchard, they're man of the moment, and I think that Rochdale will get a nice 1-0 win, and I think Joe Pritchard is going to be central to that win. He's that good a player.
Craig?
Yeah, Boreham would obviously playing Saturday. Rochdale played Tuesday night and then again Tuesday night, so they've effectively got a 7-day turnaround. So I think they're going to be at home. They're going to be fresh. They're going to be ready. So they were due to play Southend again this weekend, but Southend are still in the trophy, so that hasn't happened. I'm going to go 2-0 Rochdale.
And Louis?
Yeah, I think this would be an interesting one. I think it would be a better game than what last night was. I just have this feeling that Boreham Wood on the transition, on the counter attack, can be so good. They've got so much pace and so much quality. I have got them to get a 1-1 draw here, so I do think they'll get something. So yeah, 1-1.
Yeah. And then we're going to do quick fire FA Trophy. I'll read out the fixtures. You tell me who's going to win. And because we've done every other round, so we may as well keep it going throughout, even though all our teams are out now. But, we'll keep it going. So first up, we've got AFC Fylde against Southport. Two teams that Mark will know well. So, Mark, who's winning that one?
AFC Fylde.
Yeah, I've got Fylde as well. Craig?
Agreed.
Louis?
Yeah, I think it goes to penalties, but I do think I'll get through.
Yeah. Next, we've got Telford against Yeovil. Mark?
I'm going to go for a bit of a shock here. Telford.
Craig?
Same. Telford win.
I've got Telford, but on penalties. Louis?
Yeah, Telford are on fire at the moment, aren't they? They won 8-0 the other week or something. So yeah, really tricky type of Yeovil. I've gone Telford as well.
Sorry,
well, congratulations, Yeovil.
The reminder.
Congratulations, Yeovil.
Yeah.
Next, we've got Chatham against Southend. Craig?
Yeah, I bet Southend to win the whole thing, so it'd be foolish to back against them now. Southend win.
Yeah, I've got Southend as well. Mark?
A real pick-me-up, Southend.
Louis?
Odd one out here. I've gone the home side. Really good form in the Isthmian League. And I think Southend, just focusing elsewhere at the moment.
Yeah. Next, we've got Halifax versus Kidderminster. I've got Halifax. Louis?
Yeah, I'd go Halifax again. I think Kidderminster are on good form, but home advantage for Halifax, I think, will make a difference.
Mark?
They've got Danny Waldron and Ashley Hemmings back, so I'm going to go Kidderminster, but on penalties.
Craig?
Yeah, Kidderminster obviously had a nice easy game in the last round, beating Morecambe 6-2. They're out though now. Halifax win.
Next, we've got Forest Green against Wealdstone, all National League tie. Louis?
Yeah, Forest Green for me. Squad's so big, quality's all over the pitch. Forest Green to go through.
Yeah, I've got Forest Green as well. Craig?
Yeah, agreed.
Mark?
Robbie will want one trophy, and Forest Green.
Next, we've got Scunthorpe against Horsham. I picked Scunthorpe as my winners, so like Craig said earlier about Southend, it'd be foolish of me to go against them. So I'm going Scunthorpe. Louis?
Yeah, Horsham got the best away record in the National League South, so this is a tougher tie than I think it looks on paper. I think they'll give them a game. I think Scunthorpe just get through.
Mark?
Yeah, Scunthorpe. The quality of Callum Roberts will shine through.
Craig?
Yeah, I think Louis got it spot on there. Horsham are a good side, but I think Scunthorpe will just be that step above.
And then we've got Tamworth against Marine. Mark?
Marine are on a bit of a roll at the moment, so I'm going to go for them to win on penalties.
Louis?
Yeah, they beat Chester the other day, didn't they? I think. I'm also backing Marine on this one.
I thought I was going a bit out there, but I've got Marine as well. Craig?
I'll be the outlier on this one. Tamworth love a cup run. It's not going to be in the FA Cup this time. It's going to be in the FA Trophy.
No, we've got that covered.
And then last up, we've got Walton and Hersham against Woking. Louis?
Yeah, Walton Hersham, not the undefeated side. They lost to Weymouth a couple of weeks ago, and they lost to their title rivals Poole last week as well. So they have lost a couple of games, but did win on Tuesday night against Gloucester City, another title rival. I think Walton and Hersham get through. Home advantage. Their pitch is perfect for their style of football. So I'm going Walton and Hersham.
Yeah, I've gone Walton and Hersham as well. Craig?
I think Walton and Hersham might, because of them defeats, put their focus slightly back onto the league. So I'm going to go Woking here.
And Mark?
Thank goodness for that, because somebody here predicted Woking to win the whole shebang. Woking to win. Don't let me down.
And yeah, that's it from us. Covered the Rochdale game, done our preview predictions for the weekend and midweek next week, FA Trophy. And like I said earlier, don't forget to subscribe while you're here. It helps us enormously. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to Craig, Louis and Mark, as always, for joining us. And we'll see you again next time. Take care.